My first memory of becoming a professional athlete would have to be watching the World Cup. And I've always been a football fanatic, soccer fanatic, and yeah, my dad and I were sitting in the family room. I watched the World Cup and yeah, watching the guys put their jerseys over their head and celebrating together. And I said, one day I want to be on the world stage where the world is, eyes are on you, and yeah, it's your moment to shine. And yeah, my dad said, well, you need to work hard and yeah, sacrifice, yeah, be very disciplined, and you'll make it to the top. I find it actually quite easy to stay focused, especially in a big noisy environment. I've always had very good tunnel vision, and I've always been very good at focusing on what's important. And so no matter what's going on in my personal life, no matter how the day before went, it's about that moment and really living in that moment. And so that's something I've been actually really fortunate the ability of having, and I don't know if it was through meditation, I don't know if it was through, unconscious coaching, but really it's just when I stand on the runway and I look down, it's a complete tunnel. I don't hear any noise, and it's all about that moment in time. Yeah, so being successful, especially at an early age, I get the question all the time of what keeps me motivated. Why do I continue to strive to be the best? And yeah, to retain titles is wonderful. To come home with medals, hardware, yeah, I take a lot of pride in that. But right now, I'm number 2 all time, and the thing that keeps me going is simply the motto that no one remembers number 2. I want to be the best all time. I want to have that world record by my name. And so I think when you have the mentality of going where no man has gone, and now you being the benchmark, essentially, yeah, it is actually very exciting for me. And I think about it day in and day out, whether I'm training or even the decisions I make, off the track. The whole movement behind Philip Stein was just the well-being aspect. And as I spoke of, it's very important to really focus on the decisions you're making and the consequences they can have. And so whether that's the training day in, day out, or the recovery aspect, you're only as good as the recovery you get. And so it's very important to really look at the entire picture, whether that's my diet, whether that's my rest, whether that's just my mindset while I'm competing or training. And so there are many different factors to being on top, to getting on top. But I think really just finding that balance, that inner balance, I think is key to getting where I want to be. Well, I have to say I have the best job in the world. I travel the world jumping into a sandbox, but when I'm not having fun doing that, it's rigorous training. Really it's 4 to 6 hours every day. My coach and myself, constant repetition, and yeah, pushing the barriers, really. We had to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and finding new ways to challenge ourselves physically and mentally. I adapt to things very quickly, and I find myself, if I get beat by a workout, or if I'm struggling with my recovery, that mentally I personally find a way to deal with it, but also my coach is very good at making those adjustments that I need to make it happen. My passion, the urgency of being the best, there are many different factors. And really my relationship with Philip Stein is key to my success, because truly, what the company stands for, what the brand stands for, and the technology behind it, that's something that I was truly fascinated from the beginning. But, whether it's on the track, decisions I make that will benefit me in the long run, or off the track, you know, making sure I'm getting the recovery that I need. That's going to play a key role in my success of achieving those dreams, you know. And so finding that inner balance, obviously, if anything can lower my stress, anxiety, in those high pressure moments, you know, how is that not a benefit, you know? And so things like this, I think, will really play a big part in just getting, you know, that small increase that I need of reaching my dreams. Yeah, I've always been a nature fanatic. You know, I've grew up, you know, a lot of time outside, and my dad and I mean, whether it was hiking in the woods, I was a Boy Scout, you know, so camping, and now even living in Holland, you know, there are many trails, and yeah, really encourages outdoor living, you know. And so I think there's something special, you know, maybe not so much about hugging a tree, but really being connected with the earth, and the things around you, how that energy can really transfer into you and your life, you know. Finding that inner peace, finding that inner balance is different from me to you, but yeah, I do feel at peace when I'm out there, and yeah, for sure, anywhere by the water, by the sea, yeah, it's just, for me, that's my happy place. That's my place of tranquility, and where I find my center. I always thought if I was an athlete for a short period, I'd like to be a comedian, just because, yeah, I enjoy making people laugh. I enjoy giving someone a break from yeah, the hardness of life, you know, and making someone smile, making someone's day. Yeah, I take a lot of pride in that. I have a lot of passion in yeah, just sharing joy, and hopefully that can, you know, be contagious and pass that along, you know. For me, you never know how far a nice gesture or yeah, something like a laugh or a joke can go, and what someone else is going through. And so for me, I thought maybe that could be something. And then, yeah, after that, I actually really had a passion for opening up a sports facility, and yeah, trying to make an impact on yeah, kids, just different kids' lives, and kids that are passionate, but not just in track and field, but in any sports. And not just being so focused on the athletic part, but yeah, just enjoying it, and giving them the variety of just trying new things, you know, and keeping an open mind, being a kid. You know, I think the thing is now, not enough people are getting outside and moving around and being active. And so hopefully if I could start a facility somehow, and have the right partners that can really get out there and yeah, touch the right kids, and get them passionate about, yeah, finding themselves and becoming one with nature. You know, I think this could be a really cool movement. My well-being is happiness. You know, it's sitting on a hammock, you know, in the trees, at peace. It's you know, having my family happy, and yeah, just being at a good mental place. You know, for some, I guess it could be money, success, but for me, it's peace and happiness. You know, if my family is secure and happy, you know, yeah, I'm above the clouds. And so that's my entire world. The transition between legs was quite tough, more mentally than physically, because yeah, I achieved world championships and Olympic gold at 22, you know, and yeah, it seemed very silly to make it to the top, and yeah, now try to change my whole way of jumping. But I knew I couldn't last very long in the sport if I did, and longevity is key. You know, this is my dream. Of course, I want to make it to the top, but I had bigger fish to fry, essentially. And that's truly what I focus on. And yeah, also, as I spoke about my family, you know, I had my team behind me. You know, I had my first supporters that were with me, you know, from when I was barely making it into the sand pit, and, you know, when I was all the way to the top. And yeah, when I had to rewire everything and start over, yeah, they supported me and believed in me from the beginning. And yeah, when those days get long and hard, you know, I could call my sister, I could call my mom and my dad. Yeah, and we'd make a joke and they say, you know, get on with it, you know. And so, you know, another world champion and Olympic champ later, you know, it was difficult, but I would do the journey all over again. Loving life, yeah. I I love to travel. I love to eat. Yeah, I love life. You know, yeah. And I could go on and on. You know, about the people you meet and the stories you hear. But yeah, love life, live life. You know, and that's what I want people to say about me. You know, anyone I touched, yeah, they felt the love. Um, and not that I was always bringing it, but maybe that we made a connection that, yeah, I rubbed something off on them and they rubbed on me, and yeah, it was a connection, you know, and so I think that could be really special.